Now that we reviewed our yesterday work of multiplying polynomials, guess what we're doing today? We're dividing polynomials. Okay, so let's start with our very first example of how dividing polynomials, pretty much terms with variables, how do we divide it? And how does it look like? Well, let's write it out. Here we go. Nobody's looking up at the board.
I am.
So
They're asking.
So we have this right here, people. This right here is a division problem. It's a fraction, which obviously implies division, and we have a variable, which means how do we divide variables? What's the rule? Well, you want to think of it like this. This is no different than this right here. Do you guys see that right there?
Yep.
So, now the question is, just looking at each fraction, how do we divide 3x divided by 3? How do we divide 6 divided by 3? Well, we know that one, right? It's the variable part that we want to learn. So this is the trick right here. So the trick to divide this part is this right here. How did we do? Let's track back a little bit. What is 3x times 3? 9x, right? What if there was an x here? 9x squared, right? Why? Because we were adding our exponents. x1, x to the power of 1, x to the power of 1 equals x to the power of 2, right? We were adding it. That's because we were multiplying. In division, we actually do the opposite. We subtract the exponents' variables. Now, this is not a good example because we're just beginning it, and this one doesn't happen to have it, but if this one had a squared and this one had an x, it would become x squared minus x, or what's 2 minus my 1? It's 1, which means my answer would have an x to the power of 1, which is just x. So we're going to do some of those in a sec. But right now, we're just looking at this problem right here. Oops. This problem right here. You want to ask yourself, what is 3 divided by 3? 1, right? What is x divided by no x? Well, it's just like the multiplication one. You just drag it over. It's just nothing. It just gets flopped down. Then ask yourself, what's 6 divided by 3? Oh, look at that. My answer is right there. 1x plus 2, aka x plus 2. Because you don't need the 1, right? Same thing. So that's pretty straightforward, right? You just divide the numbers. But again, the confusing part is when the bottom has a variable, which is this example right here. (25x cubed minus 45x squared) over 5x. All right. If you guys want so that you could visibly see it better, You could just write it underneath on each, right? Make it two separate fractions. That way, it helps you see it better. But either way, it's going to be the same thing. What you do is divide the numbers, and then yes, you divide the variables. But instead of adding the variables' exponents, you subtract. So tell me, you guys, what is 25 divided by 5? What is x cubed divided by x? You see that? We minused it. We didn't add it like we did with multiplication. What we did was we subtracted it. We subtracted this 3 minus this 1. That's invisible, right? And we got x squared. Next one. What is 45 divided by 5? 9. There's my number. Now, what's x squared minus x? X. Yes, x to the power of 1, which is x. Guess what? This is my answer. Because you can't combine those, can you? Are they like terms?
No.
No. So you can't do anything else. That's my simplified answer. This is how you divide polynomials. You just do it step by step. The numbers divided by each other, then the variables, make sure to subtract the exponents. The powers, I meant.
Alright, now let's do a hard one. Might feel there's some.
No, that's pretty much it.
That's it?
Yeah. What you might end up getting is something different like this. This one is everyone's favorite. Okay. 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 So how do we solve this type of problem? Cool. What do you mean? Cool. Cool. Your guys' brains are flowing, right? So you want to what? Distribute this out? Make it simpler? Blah, 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 blah. Then do this. Then do that. And then once you distribute everything out, divide by x plus 7, right? Cool. That will give you the right answer. But guess what? It takes too long. I saw it. What you could do is, if you ever find matching terms, such as this x plus 7, this x plus 7, and that x plus 7, what you could literally do is just cross them out, leaving x minus 3, which is my answer. You see that? If they're matching terms, you could cancel it out and just leave what's left over. Just leave what's left over. If this one is eliminated, if this one is eliminated, if this one is eliminated, all we have is x and all we have is minus 3. There's my answer. That's simple. You could have done what you were thinking at first, but why? It takes too long. I'm glad you guys spotted that. I really am, because your eyes should always be looking at math problems and be seeing, what should I distribute? What should I be doing? What should I FOIL?
I just tell you guys that we have to follow the process.
I like this
Follow
way.
the route that
This
we
is a
would
good
do.
way. I like this way. Never have to-
Wow, that's pretty much everything.
Really?
Let's do another example. How about that?
Yes.
Let's see what I can do. Let's see which one I can do. This is not a good example. I don't know why they put that here, but whatever. Let's do it anyways. Why not? Pretty straightforward. Sorry. Sorries. XYZ, that's what I needed to do. Not XXX. That's too simple. X, Y, Z. All right, so what do we do first? Tell me. All of these should be divided by the 10. Or you could have this in your head. 10 underneath each one. Right?
Yep.
If that visibly makes your life easier, do it. It's fine. What's 25 divided by 10? What's 25x divided by 10? What is it? Yes, yeah, use decimals, it's fine. I was going to say use fractions, but yeah. Plus, what is 5y divided by 10? 0.5y.
I did 10 divided by 5.
No. No. The 5 comes first. You got to do 5 divided by 10. What's 15 divided by 10? Z. So now comes, that's pretty much the answer. You can't do anything else. But I want to see something. Obviously, fractions and decimals go hand in hand, right? So chances are you might want to leave your answers in fraction form. But it all depends on one thing and one thing only. On whether you do need to leave it like that. Okay, so for your guys' problems, practice problems, we've already practiced fractions, haven't we? All right, we know fractions. So your answer should be in fraction form. So it's good that we have the decimal form, but what is the fraction form of 2.5? Do we know? Simple. What's 25 over 10 simplified down to? 5 over 2, right? So it's literally 5 over 2x. Plus, what's 5 over 10 simplified? Huh? Y plus 15 divided by 10. What's that simplified down to? Z, right? But this is really important to spot, you guys. I'm going to erase this first answer that we came up with, which is correct. But, oh wow, my 2's look like Z's. These are 2 down here, by the way. So, do we notice how all of the bottom ones are the 2? The final answer, people, looks like this. 5x plus y plus 3z squared, all of that over 2, because they mean the same thing. Right? Just like before, all we had was 110. We decided to split it up into 3 tens. But either it's 3 tens or 110, it's still correct. Either it's 3 2's or 1 2. This, my friends, is still correct. Makes sense, makes sense, makes sense? Cool. So now we're ready to start.